It's recording.
Okay, good morning. I'm Elizabeth James from the Department of Afro-American and African Studies at the University of Michigan in the United States. And I'm here talking with you today because I can't be with you in person, but I am there in spirit. I'm here because I would like to talk a little bit about what the pedagogy of action is and why I think it has great meaning for all of us. The pedagogy of action, which was created by Nisha Hanif over 15 years ago, is about a module that has to do with health, but I believe it's so much more. When I arrived in Johannesburg back in 2002, I found myself a little overwhelmed at the thought of returning to the ancestral home of some of my family that I was pulled away from way before I was born, of course, during the enslavement of the African people from the continent. And so, coming to Africa was something that I asked my Native American ancestors for permission to do before I left the United States. I returned to New Orleans and prayed that I'd be worthy and willing and able to reach and touch people in the way that I needed to. And the POA was the way that I was going to find my entree into that world. What I found was amazing. I found people whose hearts and whose thoughts were so incredibly intermeshed with the very things I had been thinking and imagining for so many years. I found myself finding that Johannesburg was so very much like my dearly beloved hometown of Detroit, Michigan, a huge, large metropolitan city that was on contested ground and that also was someplace that had what I call the chocolate city, vanilla suburb kind of psyche about it. And it was something that deeply touched me because I realized, as Maya Angelou would say, we are more alike than unalike. I also found myself in reflection afterwards thinking about how, in the words of Che Guevara, that Nisha Hanif was very much more than just the POA director or the creator. She was an ambassador for love. And as Che once said so sagely, as ridiculous as it may seem, at the heart of every true revolutionary is love. And I do think this about Nisha. We see many sides to this complex woman, but at the core of it is love. And this is why she's willing to go out and do the work in places that many other academics would not tread. And even though she fusses and carries on about it, I know that in her heart she knows it's the right thing, because as long as one person is reaching out to another, that's where the magic happens. And I do believe that the experiences and the ways that the POA transforms not all of its participants really, really embodies the meaning of the word love. And so I can say no better than to wish you love at this conference, and that you all spend the time speaking with one another with love, about love, and be love. Because after all, it is the pedagogy of action. Action is a verb and not a noun. Thank you.